Welcome back to our interview series here at WUSC-FM and HD1 Columbia. My name is Ben Crispin, and I am joined here today by the legendary, super amazing, so cool Chan Kinchla, lead guitarist for the band Blues Traveler, who is headlining the 40th anniversary of this year's St. Pat's Festival in 5 Points. Chan, thank you so much for coming on. This is like insane.
My pleasure.
Do you want to go ahead?
Let's get some green beer.
Yeah, exactly. The founding 5 Points has already been dyed green, so gross. So we already have the water ready for you.
I went to see Soundgarden in like 1989 in Brooklyn, and my girlfriend, who actually later became my wife, so this is kind of where the love affair started. Before we went, it was a St. Patty's Day gig, and they were playing with Voivod. Look it up. And and I think Faith No More was a cool triple bill, 80s style. 80s grunge, early grunge. We drank a ton of green beer. I only saw one song of Soundgarden because my girlfriend at that point started projectile vomiting green. And it's a fond memory of St. Patty's Day. Every time I think of St. Patty's Day, I think of green projectile vomit.
Yeah, it sounds like a fond memory for sure. Yeah. I love green.
I married the girl.
That's fair. It worked out in the end. That's fair. Speaking of working out in the end, this is kind of a smooth transition. I think this is probably
nice. I like it.
Well, I'm here to talk about your newest album, man. I'm here to talk about Traveler's Blues. I've been listening to it all day. It has been awesome.
Cool.
So funky, and there's so like much traditional blues going on. All the covers are really fun. So I'd love to talk about that today because it's really, really fresh and cool for me. So I just wanted to open it up. And I just wanted to talk about the creative process behind Traveler's Blues, because it's your 14th full studio album at this point?
So they tell me. It's hard to keep track.
Yeah, right? Like 30 years, 30 plus years of Blues Traveler.
35 years.
35 years. That is
We got
incredible.
together in 1987 in Princeton, New Jersey.
Longer than I have been alive. That is
high school. We were a high school band.
So I want to talk. That's a great intro, because I want to talk about the creative process that you had on Traveler's Blues. And I would love for you to compare that, way back when, to your first album, Blues Traveler, which is a little bit of a tongue twister. So what was the difference like between them?
I'd like to think, the kind of interesting thing is we started out in high school as a blues band. And actually the original name of the band was Blues Band. And we were much more blues based than we became later. We loved good music. We had all kinds of influences. So we kind of traveled far afield from the blues form. And it was kind of funny for a bunch of white kids in the suburbs to be so in the blues. But we really love the kind of the freedom of the form. There's a lot of improvisation, and depending on the environment and the crowd and the mood, the songs can feel different depending on how you play them. And that improvisational aspect was really what we wanted to do, and that kind of transferred on to all the rest of our music. But sorry, I got texts falling. I should turn them off.
You're a popular guy, man. I get that. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. But at the time, we were just a bunch of like teenagers in the Jersey suburbs, so we couldn't ever really do a blues record. This is kind of this recent one was the blues record I think we always wanted to make but couldn't. I really don't think the process has changed that much. Every time we go to do a record, we try and kind of just live in the environment, let a lot of happy accidents happen, don't try and control it too much.
Yeah,
there's so many different people involved in in creating an album, from the producers and the record company and all different band members, that you really got to be open to happy accidents and seeing what organically is gonna happen. The only difference is with this blues record, we had for so long wanted to make a blues record because people kept telling us we weren't a blues band, and we're like, well, we are deep down. Yeah. So we wanted to kind of show that we do in fact have a blues background. And with this one too, we were playing all these classic old blues songs. So the songs were pretty much written it's just up to us to kind of come up with cool versions that stayed in the form, but we had our spin on it. And honestly, it was in the middle of the pandemic. We finally had some free time. We had free time, and that this kind of opportunity came up. We were all so jazzed to be actually doing something because we'd all been sitting home for a year, probably for the first time in our career that we were off. We weren't touring for a year. So we were so pumped to just be in playing together, working on something. So honestly, it had the same kind of exuberance that I think our first record did. Like I said, we just try and live in the moment when we make a record. That's why I think in some ways there's a broad range of different styles through all our different records. Mm-hmm. And it's some for better and worse results, but I think it's that openness to try different things, and that's kept us pretty fresh and creatively entertained for 35 years now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's not joke about for better or worse results. I mean, Traveler's Blues was nominated for a Grammy for the best traditional blues album.
Indeed. We got better results on this one.
Yeah, you got really good results on this one. So
that's cool. It is cool.
Well,
it's nice to be asked.
Yeah. I love all the covers on here because there's a lot of like cool traditional, those awesome blues songs like You Got Me Running, but you also have stuff by like Nina Simone in here. Like you got Trouble in Mind, you got Crazy by Gnarls Barkley, which I would not expect Blues Traveler to do, but as I kind of looked into your stuff, you've done a lot of covers for a lot of different bands, like John Legend, done some stuff for Ace Ventura, like a lot of cool stuff. What's the process behind like picking a cover that you like? And also, is there a cover song that you have not played yet that you want to do?
Well, with this record, we were working with Round Hill Records, which has a huge blues catalog, and that's kind of that's the kismet that came together to kind of make this thing happen. So they have all the licenses. So for us, it was a huge list and long email chains, but in the end, we wanted it to have a few recognizable ones, some really old school traditional ones, and then some kind of left field ones that seemed that kind of we could do a blues thing to that weren't really blues songs. So that was kind of what we were looking at. In the end, our fearless producer, Matt Rollins, I think helped us wheedle it down to the final list. So we knew what we were doing going into the studio. Like most things with us, it's a huge master list group think kind of process. And it's hard to put your finger on exactly how it gets done. So in the end, I'm gonna have to give Matt Rollins, our producer, credit for getting us down. I mean, it basically turned into songs we all agreed we liked. And then out of that list of 30, Matt Rollins picking 11 or 12 that we could focus on. But we're always adding new covers to the set, like on our live show. So you had asked earlier, was there a cover we wanted to do? We're now working on a couple covers. We're about to do a little run here, and we're going to be seeing you soon on St. Patty's Day. You'll probably hear it on St. Patty's Day.
I will be in the front row, man. I'm going to climb.
We've got Mirror in the Bathroom by The English Beat is our latest awesome. Cover journey, which is a kick-ass song. It's a lot of fun. And we got a couple others. We'll see which one makes it to St. Patty's Day. But
that's awesome. I'm very
covers are fun, and we have a unique sound and a unique voice, and we get a kick out of reinterpreting other people's songs and writing our own songs. Playing live shows, we're always trying to switch it up. I think that's what keeps us kind of jazzed about playing. Trying. Sometimes you'll get in a rut, but the last 35 years, you got to constantly be getting out of a rut, kind of changing the plan. So we try to keep doing that.
Well, I think it comes off very successfully in Traveler's Blues, the newest album by you guys. It's really solid. I recommend everyone who is listening right now. I know our millions of listeners. Go ahead. And check it out. Streaming everywhere. Super cool. Really recommend it. Crazy. Again, I love that song. It's awesome. Speaking about covers, I was reading about, I was doing some deep scrawling on you guys.
Nice.
And back
deep
in your
scrawling, I haven't heard that one. I like
yeah, right? in your garage band days, maybe when it was just John Popper and Brennan Hill, back when it was apparently called The Establishment before Blues.
Oh yeah, that was pre me. Yeah, way back when.
Apparently they in their regular rotation they did a cover of the Battle Hymn of the Republic, which I am obsessed over. Just the thought of that makes no sense to me.
I think it's just probably because John knew it on harmonica, so they did it. I'm sure that's what it was. It's probably one of his early songs he was super jazzed about learning. So
that's so funny.
That's probably what it came down
to. Well, speaking about sound, speaking about harmonica, blues, all that stuff, this is one of my favorite questions to ask because it always gets a pretty different answer from each person that I've talked to before. I wanted to ask, what exactly is Blues Travelers' sound? Because you've done Travelers Blues, like traditional blues. You've done, Blow Up the Moon, which is, features some crazy out of left fields, people a little bit poppier. You've done 12 other albums in between that. You guys basically like revive the jam band genre with like Dave Matthews and Fish and Widespread Panic, who was just in Columbia like last week, which was really
awesome.
They were fun. But where do you guys fit in between all those? What's your guys' sound, do you think?
Our sound, we started together in high school. So we kind of learned our instruments together, and we have a lot of, I think, relationships where our learning our instruments kind of played off of each other. So there's a kind of synergy there. We were 15, 16 when we started playing together. And I think that also helps us weather any kind of drama because, it's like family. You can fight and it's not the end of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as sound goes, our number one rule is try it. If it sounds good, we'll do it. We don't really have, this blues album was a particular type, but in general, and maybe this is not breaking the rules as well, there's no rules to like where we get song ideas or trying to play some different thing. We really love all kinds of music. So we don't, we love to improvise, but we weren't just following like Jimi Hendrix and the Dead and that kind of 60s thing. Yeah. We love Prince and we love Charlie Parker and we love punk rock and, the Clash, the Jam, the English beat. There's so many different influences. So we really, I think, try and just be open to experimentation. And once again, I think that's what keeps bands around and keeps things lively for a long period of time.
Yeah.
So I can't put my finger on the sound other than there's a harmonica.
Other than there's a harmonica. Yeah, that I think that fits it perfectly. You kind of answered my next question, which was great. I was going to ask what your influences were, because I also found a deep quote from like 2007 where you were asked what your influences were. And you said a lot of the ones that you just listed, which was great. You also said, I've been influenced by trees, the sky, mostly the wind, lots of good drugs, but I stick to grapes and leaves. So does that still hold up for you? Or
maybe I was baked. What's going on, D? I'm doing an interview. Want to come say hi? Here, come say hi. I'm doing a podcast. This is my nephew, D. Lil D. Say hi. Say hi, America.
Hi.
Shoot. Thanks, D.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Pumpkin. Have a great play date. I'm at my brother's house right now in Nashville. Yeah, I mean, influences, I think we were on.
I think we were on influences, but you probably covered the most of them.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was punk, like early on, it was punk rock because I liked the energy and it was easy, but eventually that got a little simplistic on guitar, and I realized I just like the energy of all kinds of music. I mean, I've always loved music. So I think, I picked up a guitar when I was 11 at my friend's house, and I just never put it down. As a matter of fact, he ended up just giving it to me because I just would go over to his house to play it, not play with him. Just something about that. And at the time, for those quotes, I very well might have had a buzz on, but I think they all hold true right now, and I'm straight sober.
Hell yeah, I respect that, man. Well, speaking of punk rock's high energy, let's keep the high energy going right now.
Right
we're
on.
gonna enter The rapid fire round of questions is just
let's do it.
Favorite this, favorite that, quick as you can, one word, maybe two.
All right.
That's it. Ready? Okay, ready? Favorite color?
Yeah. Blue.
Favorite food?
Indian food.
Best Ben & Jerry's ice cream flavor?
The cookie dough.
You're stumbling right now. Favorite band?
Chocolate
Favorite
chip
band?
cookie dough.
Favorite band?
Led Zeppelin.
Favorite genre?
Rock and roll.
Least favorite genre?
Love it all. No least favorite.
No bad music. Favorite movie?
Rumblefish.
Favorite hobby?
Playing guitar / exercise. Hiking. I like hiking.
That's fair. Hiking is very cool. Best Blues Traveler album?
Save Soul.
Favorite instrument?
Guitar.
Deepest and most personal fear?
Most personal fear. Man, I'm older, man. I've released all these fears.
Fantastic.
Greatest fear. My greatest fear is fear itself.
Fear itself. Okay, final question. Answer it as quick as you possibly can. Don't even think about it. What's your credit card number?
Oh, wait, let me get my wallet.
That's the last question, our rapid fire round.
Awesome.
That was very good. That was solid. You kept up with it. That was good.
Right on. There's probably some old like Rumblefish. That's with Mickey Rourke and Matt Dillon.
No, it's deep cut.
Stuart Copeland did the soundtrack, all black and white. Dennis Hopper's in that. Such a good movie. I mean, like most things, I saw it when I was 14 or 15, and it has this whole rebel thing going on in it.
Yeah.
And everyone looked super cool. So, you know, those things things you love when you're 14 or 15 stay with you the rest of your life.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree with that for sure. Well, speaking about, you know, times when you were young, right? Okay, so you were born in Ontario, lived in New Jersey. That's where you met all the guys. You went to school in New York. I think you maybe live in California now.
I'm in Los Angeles is where I live. Yep.
There you go, right?
There.
And I think you've done most of the continents for shows except for the cold one, I think.
We've been Asia. Oh no, we've never been to South America.
Yeah, never been to South America.
That's on the bucket list. That's the only one. And then Antarctica. No, we've not played in Antarctica.
No, probably not Antarctica. But you've been a whole lot of places, lived a whole lot of places, done a whole lot of things. When you go and do live shows, because you guys have been touring for a super long time, where is like the place to go? Like, where do you guys like love playing live?
Well, our traditional home gig reunion best gig we do every year. We play Red Rocks on the 4th of July in Colorado.
Oh, that's so cool. I love that.
It's an amazing venue. So if anyone loves live music, find when your favorite band is playing Red Rocks and go. Put that on the bucket list. The venue's amazing. So
it's so cool.
Red Rocks is kind of home base away from home for us.
Oh yeah. So I don't want to keep you for too much longer. I only got like 2-3 more questions. We can wrap it up real fast then. I do want to ask, just because you just released a 2.0, basically like a live version of Runaround and Hook, just for giggles. I want to ask you, how many times do you think you've sung that song? How many times do you think you've sung Runaround before?
Well, it was like 95, 96 when we started touring and playing it. So that's 25 years, and we probably played it 97% of shows, if not more, because you don't want to be that band that doesn't play their hits when people come to see. I mean, some bands want to go there. Hey, Runaround was a big hit, so people want to hear it. So if you put it at like 100 shows a year, kind of average over 25, so 2,500 times.
2,500 times.
Seems about right.
If I could do the math on that, so it's
25 years, 100 times a year seems about right. It's about 4 minutes long.
4 minutes long. Okay, so 2,500 times 4 divided by 60. You've spent 166 hours of your life just playing that song live. Incredible.
That's great. That makes sense. That seems to make sense. I mean, it's a lot of payday for such a short amount of actual playing.
That's fair. I mean, that's like playing that song 7 days in a row straight. That's crazy.
Sometimes feels like that. No, I mean, honestly, we love it. Every time we play it, the crowd goes nuts, and it's like an old friend at a certain point.
Oh yeah, That's cool. That's a good way to think about that. Okay, final two questions here. I wanted to ask about the name behind Blues Traveler, because you were originally saying that it used to be Blues Band, and before you was the Establishment. And I read something about maybe how it came about, but I wanted to fact check it for you. Where did Blues Traveler come from, the name?
Well, as this has actually been out there, we were a blues band, and then we moved to New York City in '87. We graduated high school, and blues band was a little generic for New York City, and there were real blues bands in New York. And it was the Ghostbusters time. So
that's what I
thought. When the four of us played, we felt like there was a fifth entity entered the room. You know, we were like, so when it's really good, it's like there's someone else there. It was kind of this concept we had. And Ghostbusters had the big Stay Puft Marshmallow Man was Gozer the Traveler.
Yeah.
Like this demonic demigod would come down. And so we just thought the Traveler sounded cool, but for whatever reason, we didn't want to lose the blues band, like the four fans that knew blues band. So we stuck the two together. Maybe just like, we'll just do it for a little bit. But it kind of Blues Traveler, the L's, it kind of rolls. So, but it is inspired by Gozer the Traveler, Stay Puft Marshmallow Man from Ghostbusters.
That is truly amazing. I read that and I was like, there is no possible way that is true. I love it so much more now. It's great. Okay, and our final question. I love ending interviews like this. I would love, Chan, if you could just tell me a Blues Traveler story. A happy one, a sad one, some you learned, someone on tour, some live stage one, a silly one you've said 1,000 times.
Yeah, one of my fondest stories is we played in L'Aquila, Spain, L'Aquila, France. Mm-hmm. Right on the border of Switzerland. We played the Montreux Jazz Festival, and then we were on our way to play some gigs in France. Yeah. But on the way, and this is in 1990, we were just getting started, maybe 92. And we played this little mountain town. Nobody knows us. I mean, nobody knows us anyway, pretty much, especially in Europe.
Okay.
So we played this little town, and they had a fife and drum choir, which is like, like a marching band, a military marching band with drums. And we met them before, and we asked for like a couple of them to come up and sit in with us just to get some local flavor. Well, there's a downpour right before we go on. The whole town empties out. So we come on back an hour later. There's 0 people in the crowd. We start playing. And slowly but surely, people kind of come out of their little bars or wherever they're hiding. And then we call up the fife and drum choir, guys. But we thought it was just going to be 2 of them. And it turns out like all 25 of them come up.
That's awesome.
So we start like some random jam with them. And all John can think of doing is singing the Gilligan's Isle theme song. Right back. So the crowd starts going bananas, and we end up with the drum choir marching down, and then we march all around the square with the crowd behind, And it was it's just a classic example of like 0 to 1,000 in like 2 minutes. You never know what's going to happen. So we just couldn't believe this situation. And that's the kind of fun thing. You never know what's going to happen.
That is a fantastic story to end on. That was perfect.
Right on, brother.
It's probably not going to be as good, obviously, as the 40th anniversary of St. Pat's and 5 Points. This Saturday, it's going to be great. It's going to be super fun.
Free projectile vomiting. Let's go.
I need to see you projectile vomit on stage, Shan. We need that. We need to make it happen.
There's my projectile vomiting long gone, but I'll leave it up to you kids.
I got you. Don't worry. I can do it.
Right on, brother. Thank you.
Everyone,
don't let me down. It's your turn.
Thank you so much for listening. This has been the WUSC-FM and HD1 Columbia Speaker Series. My name has been Ben Crispin, and I have been here again with the legendary Chan Kinchla, lead guitarist for the band Blues Traveler, who is headlining, as you all know, the St. Pat's in 5 Points Festival this Saturday. Please go ahead, stream Traveler's Blues everywhere that you possibly can. It's a great album. I love it. And Chan, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure, bro. Nice talking to you, Ben. Have a great day.
You too.
See you soon.